Hey everybody, welcome to another video here at the 21st Capital YouTube channel. My name is RK and today I would like to guide you through an entire setup on how you can run your own Bitcoin node at home for just $300. Very simple process. And the reason why you want to do this is first, you want to help the Bitcoin blockchain to stay decentralized. And second, you don't want to trust any third party to validate your Bitcoin on your Bitcoin wallet. And as I said in my previous videos, this node is going to be the same like having a device that you can use to validate your own gold bar. If you want to be sure that your gold is real, you have to either trust the gold dealer or you buy something that you can use to validate it's actually gold, right? The Bitcoin node that you will have will do exactly this. You can validate your own Bitcoin transactions and you don't need to trust any third party to do that for you. Third, you can actually use this node for an additional fee, and I'll show you how you can purchase that on MyNode. You can use this node also remotely. So let's say you are on the go and you still want to use your wallet with your own node at home. There is a way how you can achieve that, but you have to pay an additional fee as far as I know. We'll check that later. But you need a different setup in order to use your node also remotely. I know a lot of people who are not technical are struggling with this topic. That's why I decided to actually record this video. And I'll be guiding you step by step so you don't have to browse all around the internet. You will have links for every single purchase you need to make on Amazon. And I'll also guide you on how you can assemble your node at home without having to pay $600, $700 for a node that you can plug in and start using. It's much more simple than you think, okay? So just bear with me and I'll guide you step by step. So here we go with the first purchase you need to make. This is basically a computer, very simple. It's a very basic computer. And the reason why you want to purchase this is because you can run a Bitcoin node on your own computer, but it will take a lot of space on your computer and it might cause some issues over the long term if you want to use the computer for other purposes. So in my opinion, the best thing to do is to purchase a separate hardware or a separate computer, and it should be as cheap as possible because you don't want to spend $1,000 for another computer just to run a Bitcoin node, right? So that is why I suggest to purchase a Raspberry Pi 4 Model B with 8 gigabytes. You can purchase a Raspberry Pi 5 as well. I'm using a Raspberry Pi 4 Model B 8 gigabytes since 2018, and it's working perfectly fine. I have never had any interruptions. It's actually unbelievable. So that is going to definitely do the job, and you will not have any issues with it long term, as far as my understanding goes. You can upgrade it later, but this is the one I'm using, so it's up to you. Second thing you want to purchase is the case. This is very important because I did a lot of mistakes at the beginning. I bought a lot of cases where I had to put some fans inside, and then the fan was so loud that it was annoying, and I had to hide the node somewhere so I don't hear the sound. This case will work like magic, okay? This one is going to cool your Raspberry Pi or your computer in this case without making any noise, just because the case itself has, and this is the one, is made out of aluminum and it will cool your computer on its own. The material itself is cooling your computer, so you don't need any additional fan or anything to install it, okay? Make sure it's compatible with your Raspberry Pi. So if you have a Raspberry Pi 4, make sure you buy one for the Raspberry Pi 4. If you're buying a Raspberry Pi 5, make sure it's for Raspberry Pi 5. But that's the one you want to look for. I'm going to keep the link in the description. Third purchase is power. So you want to make sure that you buy an original one. Sometimes you can also use a very good one that you have already from your old MacBook, perhaps. But in my opinion, based on my research, the best thing to do is to purchase an original Raspberry Pi power for your node. Then you need a microSD card with 32 gigs, an adapter to be able to transfer data from your computer to your SD card. Make sure that you purchase the right USB. If it's a USB-C cable, make sure your computer has a USB-C, or you have an adapter for USB-C if you don't have it on your computer, or just purchase straight a USB normal or old USB adapter for your SD card. Next is storage. So you want to buy one of these crucial SSD solid state drive 2.5-inch drives, and you want to make sure you have at least 2 terabytes. This is very, very important. You might find one for much, much cheaper with only 1 terabyte. But the problem is, if you purchase one with 1 terabyte, if the Bitcoin blockchain reaches more than 1 terabyte, you won't be able to run it anymore because you don't have enough space, okay? The Bitcoin blockchain currently has 800 gigabytes. So 1 terabyte would do the job, but over the long term, it will cause issues once the Bitcoin blockchain has more than 1 terabyte. So make sure you buy one with at least 2 terabyte or maybe even more if you want a very long-term solution. Last but not least, what you need is an enclosure, okay? So this case is basically used for this hard drive, okay? This SSD hard drive. It basically, and I'll show you in a second how you can assemble it. It will come with this cable, so you don't need to purchase another cable. And it's going to make sure that you can use the SSD that you bought. And then you need the software that you need to install. I personally use MyNode. This is my favorite software. There is also Umbrel. I'm not a really big fan of Umbrel because I'm only interested to run Bitcoin and nothing else. And what Umbrel has done is they have a very nice looking interface, but they have also enabled a bunch of other stuff that you can run on your node. If you are interested to do that, then you can go for Umbrel. But I personally use MyNode because I'm only interested in running a Bitcoin node and nothing else. They also offer, and we have absolutely, by the way, I have absolutely no affiliation with MyNode. So I just recommend them because I have used them for the past 5 years and it's just working. It's perfectly fine. It just does the job and it's very, very reliable. And it's the only one I could find that I can use also remotely. Okay. So that's the software, and I'm going to show you how you can install it also later. But first, let's assemble the computer first, okay? So I have prepared all the hardware here. So after you purchase, you want to come back to this video and everything is at home, arrived. You want to come back to this video and you want to fast forward to this part of the video, okay? So we're going to start with the computer. This is the Raspberry Pi 4 that you will receive, and it's going to look like this, okay? I've used this computer for a long time, so that's why you already see these are already attached. So it will come with these stickers that you use to cool the computer. So you want to glue them, one here, and one here. And they're basically going to help the Raspberry Pi to be cooled, okay? Let me come in closer a little bit so you can see it, you see? Okay, so you want to put them on this, and it's very simple. You just take them off, and you just take the tape off. There's a little tape. Let me just show you. There it is. There's a little tape here. and you just take it off and you can immediately glue it on top of your Raspberry. You see here, this is the one. You want to take that off and you want to put it exactly like this on your Raspberry Pi, okay? After you do that, you want to take your case, and your case will also provide this glue here that I put that is also going to help to cool your computer. You put it on your case, and then you take it and you turn it around and you place it like this on your Raspberry Pi. So that's it. You see, it fits perfectly in, and there we go. Let me show you from the different side. You see, done. And then you want to take the other side of your case and you want to place it in the right way. So you have all the connections on this side, and you have the connections visible here as well. And you want to take the screws and you want to screw the case in. Very, very, very simple. This will come with your case, hopefully. Okay, let me just screw this together. And it's done. Perfect. Okay, and there you have your Bitcoin Raspberry Pi computer in its case, ready to start. Okay, then what you want is you take this case that you ordered. Mine looks, it's transparent, but some of them are not transparent. It's up to you, but usually you want to open them like this, and you want to place your hard drive, and your hard drive will have one of these, and it will have a glue here as well. You want to take that glue off and you want to place it on top of your hard drive. This will make sure that it's not going to rattle around inside the case, okay? So you take your hard drive and you place it on this side with its connections, okay? So this is the connections, and you take it and you place it in. There we go. You see here? Down, in. And that's it. Then you case the other side. And you close it like this. There we go. Perfect. Done. After you do that, you want to connect the cable to your hard drive, to your SSD drive. And you want to connect the other side to your Raspberry Pi USB connection. Then you need also one of these. I didn't include this in the list of things you need to buy because most people have one of these at home. Okay, so if you don't have a LAN cable, get one. But almost anybody I know has one of these at home. So if you don't, just purchase one. If you do, just take it and put it inside the LAN connection here. And put the other side into your internet modem, okay? So your internet modem has, let me actually get it for a second. So afterwards, when you connect the LAN cable inside your node, you want to connect the other side to your internet modem. I will just use a modem that I have at home. You might have a different one, but your modem has on its back these connections that you can use, okay? It will say LAN 1, LAN 2, LAN 3, LAN 4. You can connect your node to any of these LAN connections while your modem is connected to your internet. And after you do that, your computer will be connected to the internet, okay? But before you do that, you want to first put the SD card in. So I'm going to unplug it. I just wanted to show you the purpose of this cable as well. but that's basically the last thing you want to do. So you have also here the power. And now I'm going to show you what you need with the SD card that you have prepared here to do with the SD card, because we need to download the software, put it on this SD card, and put the SD card on the back of your node. You see, on the back of this Raspberry Pi is a slot for your SD card. So I'm going to put it now in, just to show you on which side you need to put it. So you take this part and you put it in here and you press it in. That's all you need to do. But before you put it in, you want to go back to your computer and you want to go on mynodebtc.com and you want to go to download. And after you press download, you want to download the version for the computer that you will use. So I'm using a Raspberry Pi 4. So I will download this one, which I already have. And after you download that one, you also want to go to this software called Balena Etcher. Okay. This thing, you can also use this one, the Imager, but I'm using the Balena Etcher in this video. So after you download the Balena Etcher, you want to open it. And after you open it, it will show you the download links for your version. Okay. You want to download whatever you're using. So if you use Windows, you want to download the Windows version. If you're using a Mac, you want to download the Mac version. And let's just quickly do that. There we go. I have now also downloaded the Raspberry Pi 4 version 0334 of MyNode. And I'm now downloading the Balena Etcher, which I just did. So there it is. Then you want to install it. After you install it, you want to open it. And there we go. This is Balena Etcher. Okay. I just downloaded it and installed it. And after installing it, I need to select a file. The file I need to select is basically this one. This file that I downloaded from my Raspberry Pi 4, I will now upload here. So I will click here and I will choose the MyNode Raspberry image. I will just click it and say open. And then I will say select target. Now, it's very important that you connect your SD card. This is the SD card, 32 gigs that I told you to buy. You take the SD card and you connect it with the adapter that you bought for the SD card into your computer. You do that, you want to come back here and select the target. This is my SD drive, and I just have to click it. And after I click it, I just say select, and then I click flash. Okay, I'm not going to do it now because I already did it. But after you do that, your SD card is basically ready. Okay, so you want to, after you do that, you want to go back to your Finder and you want to eject the SD card. There it is. Okay, and you want to take it out again, and you want to go back to your Raspberry Pi, and you want to put the SD card back in here. Just very important, guys. Make sure that this side of the SD card goes down. Okay, so you want to put the SD card in like this. There we go. Okay, I'm going to now connect my assembled node to my modem and I'm going to come back to you and explain to you what you need to do next. From here, it's actually all done. You just need to wait until the node starts running, but I'll be right back. So now, after connecting everything to my modem and assembling everything, your node can be next to your modem. And after you do that, you want to go ahead and open the following in your browser. You just open your browser and you say MyNode.local, and you will see this. Okay, so the software will start and it will automatically download the entire Bitcoin blockchain. And after it downloads the entire Bitcoin blockchain, it will be available for you to connect to it from your local wallet interface. And you can use this node pretty much with every wallet interface that is out there. You can use it with Liana, you can use it with Sparrow, you can use it with any wallet interface that is out there. I'll be back after the node is finished. So this can, by the way, this can take a long time. So it usually takes, sometimes it can take up to 4 days, depending on your internet speed, because it needs to download every single Bitcoin block ever since the beginning of the Bitcoin blockchain, okay? And this can take a long time. So if you have a very, very fast internet connection, it will probably take at least 2 days, okay? But after 2 days, you will be able to see the MyNode interface and you will be able to connect your software to your own node. I'll be back as soon as the node has finished syncing. So now, how do I connect my Bitcoin node to my favorite Bitcoin wallet interface, like Liana Smart Vault or something like Sparrow? Now, before we start, I want to mention that every wallet interface has a different settings setup, and it depends on the wallet interface where you need to go, and it might be slightly different on everyone. But generally speaking, you want to go to your server settings and you want to change the IP address to which your wallet interface is pointing to. If you have never done this before, your wallet interface is basically using somebody else's node. It might be a public node that everybody's using, for example, from Blockstream node or a Ledger Live's node or whoever's node, okay? Not every software allows you to actually connect to your own node. For example, Ledger Live doesn't do that, unfortunately. But most open source and good wallet interfaces like Liana or Smart Vault Liana and Sparrow Wallet do, and Spectre as well. Like all of the open source Bitcoin only wallet interfaces allow you to do so. So first thing you want to do is you want to install on your node something called Electrum Server. Now, before I start explaining how you can do this, you need to understand one very, very important thing. There is 2 ways to connect to your node. You can either do it locally when you're at home, or you can do it also remotely. If you want to access your node remotely because you always want to use your own node, you never want to rely on anybody, no matter where you are, then you need to choose a different way compared to the first method I show you. The first method I show you is free, so you can download MyNode as I explained in this video. You can install it without any additional fee, and you can simply install Electrum Server and connect to your node locally when you're at home with your wallet. But if you're not at home, you will need the premium software, which you can buy from mynodebtc.com. That's the website. When you go to download and then order now, you will have 2 sections. One is the hardware that you can do also on your own, which I just taught you. and the premium software. So if you want to access remotely to your own MyNode, you need the premium software. Otherwise, it will not be possible to do so. So depending on what you want to do, if you don't want to do that, then just do this. Download the Electrum server and then go to Info, and this is going to open up. And what you need is just the IP address and the port, okay? The first port is the standard port. This port will always work. Sometimes the second port, which is the more secure one, does not work with all interfaces. So if it doesn't work with the secure port, just use the standard port. And I'll show you where you have to put these numbers in, okay? So if you want to use, for example, Sparrow Wallet, you open your Sparrow Wallet, and then you want to go to Sparrow and then Settings, and then you want to go to Server, and then you want to say Edit Existing Connection. And after you do that, you want to change this IP address to the one shown to you on your Electrum server status here. So you copy this one, you go back, you paste it here, and then you put the port here. You can use the secure port. It usually works with Sparrow. It doesn't work with Liana, but it does work with Sparrow Wallet. With Sparrow Wallet, you can use both, one or two. It doesn't matter. It both works. So I will use the second one, 50002. Use SSL, use proxy. You don't need to use proxy, actually. This is Tor. You don't need to enable that. It's going to slow down your connection. It's already a local node, so you don't actually need to use an additional Tor connection. And you can just click Test Connection, and that's it. I'm connected now with my Sparrow Wallet to my own node at home. That's how you do it. And then you can open your wallet and use your wallet using your own node. That's how you do it with Sparrow. And now let's do it with Liana. Okay, on Liana, when you do your setup, at some point, the software asks you, do you want to use Liana Connect or do you want to use your own node? And the answer depends on you. So if you have a node and you follow this video, you probably want to use your own node, but have in mind that you do have a huge benefit with Liana Connect, which is your descriptor. So if you have done a multi-sig with us, for example, or on your own with Liana, you should always make sure that you have a copy of your descriptor, because without that map or descriptor, if you lose your computer, it will be impossible to access your vault. Very, very important. And if you use Liana Connect stores a copy of your descriptor on their server. And in case you lose your laptop, you just put your email address and it's going to fetch your descriptor back to your computer. You're not sharing your keys with them. You're just sharing with them your descriptor. It's less private, obviously, but it's more user-friendly for most users who don't run their own node and want to make sure that they have their descriptors somewhere safe. But if you have a copy of your descriptor on your password manager and you've sent it to yourself via email, and you have a copy of it offline on a USB stick, for example, and on your hardware wallets, and you're fine with that, then you can also use your own node, which is more private. So I will choose my own node here because I want to demonstrate how you connect Liana. And after I click here, I can choose if I want to download a node on my local computer, which will take a long, long time, or I say I already have a node, which I do, right? We just installed a node, we downloaded the blockchain, it's on our network, ready to be connected. So I say, select, I already have a node. Now here, I choose Electrum because we're using the Electrum server on our node to connect to it. So I say Electrum, and then I go back to my MyNode, and I go to the Electrum server info, and I copy the Electrum server IP address, and I go back and I paste it And then I say 0.50001. Okay, why? Because that's the port we want to use, right? That's the standard port that we want to use. And after I do this, I say check connection. Done. Connection is there and it's working. If you're doing this the first time, if you're using a Mac, it's going to block the connection to your network and you're going to get an error message here. But immediately afterwards, your Mac will say, hey, Liana wants to connect to your local network. Do you want to allow that? And then you say yes. And after you say yes, you try again and the connection check will work. Now, what if you are not at home? If you're not at home and you're connected to this IP address, your wallet interface will not be able to sync and will not be able to connect to the Bitcoin network because this IP address is a local IP address. You can only use this IP address if you're connected to your local network at home. If you're not at home, as I said, you need the premium software of MyNode. And after you download and install the premium software, you will need 3 applications that you need to download from the marketplace here. Okay? So the first thing you need is the VPN app. Okay? So if you scroll down under networking, you will see here VPN. You want to install this one first. After you install this, you want to install Tailscale. And after you install Tailscale, you want to install also Electrum Server. Now, after you do that, Tailscale will connect your node to your VPN account with Tailscale under this email address that you're using. After you do that, you have an IP address that you can connect to from your Sparrow. But before you can connect to it, you also need to install Tailscale locally on your computer from which you want to connect your wallet interface. So if you want to use Blue Wallet, for example, on your phone, you need to have Tailscale on your phone installed, connected to the same account that you registered. And after you do that, your phone will be connected to the same account. And your computer, if you do the same on your computer is now also connected to the same account. And then on your computer, if you go to Tailscale and you go to network devices and then my devices, it will show all of your devices that are connected to your Tailscale account. And all of these accounts or all of these hardware that I have connected to this Tailscale account can now connect to my MyNode from anywhere. I can be in New York and my node is at home and I can connect to it. So I simply install Tailscale and I install Tailscale on my node and I connect my node to Tailscale. So the first time you do it, it will ask you, do you want to connect your node to Tailscale? And you say, yes, connect. After you do this, you will see my node connected. And this is the IP address. Okay? If you want to copy the IP address, you can do it either here. Sorry, here, this is the IP address. Or you simply go up here to Tailscale locally if you don't know the IP address. You just go to Tailscale on your Mac or on your Windows, and then you go to Network Devices, and then you go to My Devices, and then you go to MyNode, and when you click it, it will copy the IP address. That's how you get the IP address of your MyNode from Tailscale. Then you simply go back to Liana and you paste the IP address from Tailscale and say check connection. And there you go. You have the connection. Works as good as locally, and I can connect to it from anywhere as long as I am logged in and connected to my Tailscale account. Now the same goes for Sparrow. So I go to settings, I go to server, edit connection, and then private Electrum, and I change this IP address to the IP address I got from Tayscale. There we go. And I use the port, the same port. You don't have to change the port. Test connection works. So that is how you set up your node, you put everything together, and you connect your wallet to your own node, either remotely or locally at home. Guys, I really hope this video was helpful. If you want me to record more of these videos, just put a comment in the comment section below, or ask me any questions there that you have about this process, and give us a thumbs up, give us a follow on Twitter, and also, of course, on YouTube, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more of these videos. Peace out. Take care.